a very similar command that you're not going to pass the river. And then Moshe dies. Gentlemen, this last section of Ha'azinu, chapter 32, verses 48 to 52, the last 5 psukim, as I learned from my dear father, Rabbi Horowitz, there are a lot of actual application for us today. As far as, you with the kippah, are you the one that's running for office? Are you the one that would like to have authority over others? The topic of authority and leadership in the Jewish people is not a simple matter. The life of a true leader of the Jewish people is a hard life, because there are a lot of obstacles. There are a lot of obstacles that you can anticipate for someone that's going to be a leader of the Jewish people. And there's a lot of pain that can fall in the destiny of a leader, even if he's talented like you. You with the kippah. Even if he's devoted like you. Even if he's so, self-sacrificed, giving up his life. On the contrary, the great leader that we're learning about, Moshe Rabbeinu, he is called in the literature of the Jewish people, Haro'eh HaNe'eman. Haro'eh. Who is a ro'eh with an ayin?
Shepherd.
A shepherd. He's called the faithful shepherd. Haro'eh Ne'eman. Who's the sheep? The Jewish people are the sheep. Do you remember King David's words that we sing that Mizmor Atzurah Shlishit? I don't remember the number. Do you remember, Moshe, which Mizmor of Psalms it is? Mizmor le David. Hashem Roi, God is my shepherd. Which one is it?
23.
Could be, is it? I don't know. But there, King David's talking about that God is our leader. God is my shepherd. But in our national lives, the faithful shepherd of Am Yisrael for 40 years. By the way, did he have a sabbatical? Did Moshe have a sabbatical? He worked 40 years straight, 40 years. He started at the age of
40? 80?
80. You're just checking to see if we know it. I know you, Aaron. Okay? He started at the age of 80, and here he is. On this day when he passes away, 120. So we can learn, even from the greatest of leaders of the Jewish people, so too the difficulties and the obstacles can be, and his suffering can be as great as possible. This is like, is it 23? Thank you. As opposed to think of world leaders of other countries, their pension plans, their bodyguards, their wealth, and their mansions, and their contracts, even after how much they take for lecturers when they go here and there. Gentlemen, it's clear to us from so many parshiot in the Torah, Moshe's great devotion in his role as the leader. From the time, do you remember, when he was appointed to be the leader? Which event happened? That was the burning bush. Do you remember? There at the burning bush, the sneh that's bo'er, already then, the private, the individual life of Moshe Rabbeinu was almost nullified. As we say in Malaysian, garnished. Nothing. You know that word?
Yiddish.
Oh, it was Yiddish. I know something ish. I found the garnished. Gentlemen, even before going down, his coming to Mitzrayim from the land of Midian, do you remember who he sent? When he goes down to Mitzrayim, he sends back his wife and his children back to his father-in-law called Yitro. Okay? And even at the advice of his dear brother Aaron. And now Moshe says, my dear wife and kids, you can't be with me. There's a lot of suffering where I'm going to. I have to devote myself to the redemption of the Jewish people. Later, either before or after the giving of the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu again meets his wife and children, depending upon the explanation, when they come. But already, when the event of the 10 utterances end, and the Jewish people are basically given permission by God, as we read in Devarim chapter 5. Lech emor lehem. Go tell the Jewish people they can go back to their tents. Shuvu lachem liohalechem. Return for yourselves to your tents, meaning a man can be with his wife. Marriage, marital living, intimacy. Ve'ata, but you meaning Moshe Rabbeinu, po, you don't budge. Amod imadi, stand with me. From that time again, after the 10 commandments, Moshe Rabbeinu turns back into an ish klali, a man serving the nation, giving of himself all the time, as if he has no bond to his private home, no bond to his family. Now, in this type of situation, many of us would think that, as a public leader, to really be a servant of the nation, I might need your pharmaceutical advice. I might need your Audi 7. I might need your driver's potential and this and that. But even that, Moshe doesn't use. Do you remember that Moshe testifies about himself after the rebellion of Korach? He testifies before God on that very day of the rebellion, quote, Lo chamor echad mehem nasati. I never took from them a chamor, meaning today a Porsche, a Maserati, a Audi, or a BMW, or was that BMW? What is it called? BMW. Thank you. Even that Moshe doesn't take. Don't you think as a public leader he's entitled to that? Even private gifts. Okay, what's given to Moshe maybe is private gifts from God and his children. He gives of it to the Jewish people. The Gemara says in Masechet Nedarim, all this I took from my dear father, Rabbi Horowitz. Amar Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina, Lo nitna Torah. The Torah was not given. Ela leMoshe v'zaro. To Moshe and his seed. What do you mean? It says, Kitov lecha, write for yourself. And then it says, after the tablets were broken, Psol lecha, lifsol, to carve out from the stone there. And the Talmud says, just like your psolet, af batevin, also the food for you and your animals. Meaning, give it for others. Moshe Rabbeinu even gave up of what he had to other people. Now, as far as the devotion of Moshe Rabbeinu and his good eye, you would think, he was so good to the Jewish people. He was so beneficial to the Jewish people. You would think that at the end of his days, he would be rewarded. Okay? We would have think that right now in our Parsha, which today is his last day, and we're watching his last day of Moshe Rabbeinu, you would think it's birthday. Chazal say it's his birthday. Born and died on the 7th of Adar. So wouldn't you think that for his 120th birthday, we would throw a party for him? Does he not deserve it? Any celebrations written here in our Torah? Yes or no? No. In honor of Moshe, no celebrations. The opposite. We tried to make a point last week that this could be the busiest day of his life. He is so busy with appointments, all tribes, issuing this, issuing that. Okay? If the word Hayom, if we go back to Parashat Ki Tavo, okay, in the rebuke, and it's ending here, the ending of the 5 books of the Torah, and it ends with Vizot HaBracha, and he already issued the blessings. If we wanted to talk to his press secretary and see what was on his calendar, namely the last Parshiot, we can come up with the following. The blessings and curses that Moshe Rabbeinu ordered to be done in Shechem, on Mount Gerizim and Mount Eval, he issues that to the nation. That's all the way back there in that section. Number 2, Remember that he congregated the nation and brought them into a Brit in Parashat Nitzavim? Do you remember that he put his hand on the head of Yoshua and he appointed him to be the leader instead of him? Do you know how many Sifrei Torah he's writing and issuing? 1 Sefer Torah for each tribe. That's how many altogether? 12. Another Sefer Torah that he's putting inside the ark. 13 Sifrei Torah he's finishing and writing today and issuing them. And what about the writing of the Song of Ha'azinu? Remember, that has to be inserted. That's done today as well. And not only did he do it, did he write it, he went around and elaborated, explained, all, and put it in their mouths. Wow. All this on one day. And now, as the day is coming to the end, the evening is about to come in, the reward that you would have think to such a great leader, okay, after 40 years of so much devoted service, and he's about to die, and like we said before, God says, Be'etzem hayom hazeh. He's going to die in this very day. People are going to know that he's going to die. The same man that took us out of Mitzrayim, that tore the sea, that brought down the man, that brought us those birds, the Slav that you wrote, Chananel, that raised up water from the Be'er, that gave us the Torah and won the wars over Sichon and Og. Now, his day is coming to an end. Our great leader. So maybe he would get a freebie. Maybe he would get a green light to go into where? Into the land of Israel. Let's make him the president in honor. Yeah. What do you call someone that after he finishes his position and he gets an honorary position? It's not an actual position. What is it called in modern day English? What is it called? Emeritus, like a professor emeritus. Maybe Moshe Rabbeinu will get the title Nasi Kavod, the honorary president of the Jewish people. Or, even give him just an honorary position as a citizen. Let him come in. No. Hashem speaks to him on this day. You're going to go up to this mountain. You're going to see the land of Canaan from the other side. But you're not going to go in to the land of Israel during your lifetime. You're not going to pass. Okay? Even your body, even your bones will not pass into the land of Israel. You might think that maybe his children are worthy of inheriting his leadership. Often we see in Jewish history of David HaMelech that his son and Shlomo HaMelech's son, they would inherit the greatness of his father as far as the house of David is concerned. No. Only Yoshua ben Nun. He was the one that was filled with Ruach Chochmah, we read. I'm sorry, I forgot this. I forgot to make it quiet. I'm sorry. Only Yoshua ben Nun is filled with the spirit of wisdom, and only on him shall Moshe put his hands on the head of Moshe. So, gentlemen, what about a national funeral? I'm not talking about the U.S. Navy or Army where they shoot into the air at these military cemeteries, and even the Jewish Army does the same thing. They copy the Goyim. But at least a national funeral. Eulogies. No, let everyone stand there. No. No one is to know his burial place, as it says later on at the end of the Torah. So we're reading this section and we're in a state of wonder, astonishment. Is this the end of such a great leader that the Torah says at the end of the book, Lokam b'Yisrael, Lokam Navi od b'Yisrael. What does the Torah declare? No one. What will never rise in the future?
Same as Moshe Rabbeinu.
A prophet like Moshe refers to one of our 13 principles of faith. Okay? So, gentlemen, here we see the end of such a great leader, so humble. It's not to have this glamour, to have all this honor and all these things. He's going to die alone on top of the mountain. And as we get to Vizot HaBracha, we're going to see two opinions in the Gemara Masechet Megillah, the last 7 verses if I'm not mistaken, or less than that. When he dies, Hey Vav Zayin Chet Tet Yud Yud Aleph Yud Bet, 8 verses. Who wrote the verses? And Moshe died.
Moshe Gam.
2 opinions in the Talmud. Either Yeshua completed the last 8 verses of the Torah since Moshe passed away, or God dictated it to Moshe and he wrote it with tears. And then he died. Another opinion in the Gemara Masechet Megillah. So we see a real great leader is not someone who runs after honor, after glamour. Okay? What does the Mishnah tell us in Pirkei Avot? What happens to someone who pursues honor in his life?
Will not get it.
Not only will he not get it, it'll go away from him. But someone that doesn't pursue honor, the proper honor will come to that person. We're not looking for honor. And we'll end our shir today. Wasn't it you that prayed on Rosh Hashanah, please give honor to your nation? Honor? I thought we're not looking for honor. Isn't it true? We're not. So what are we talking about? The answer is national honor is not private honor of an individual. When we're saying we're not pursuing private honor, we're talking about the individual. But the honor of the Jewish people is the honor of God. Through the Jewish people, the honor of Hashem grows, expands. God's name is spread in the world through the nation of his nation. That's the role. And therefore we're asking for God, and we'll continue in our Yom Kippur service as well, Tein kavod le'amecha. Give honor to your nation. Because the honor of Am Yisrael, we're the nucleus, we're the heart through which God's honor expands in the world. May that happen, B'ezrat Hashem, b'meirav yameinu, amen.